So we're still sitting waiting for the cephalopods to soften,
Yes.
but we're having a conversation about why squid is as expensive as it is, and as
It's a trap.
there's talk about it being an aphrodisiac.
Squidding specifically being an aphrodisiac. It has a slightly metallic-y taste. Whether it actually affects your virility is up for debate. So basically, they just say that, like they do with rhino horns or whatever, or the human horn if you watch Futurama.
So poach these, not rhinos.
Except not too much. I still want to be able to eat them without their price getting jacked up. But yeah, these were like $2 a pound at the store I was at, and that's amazing because
that's not bad.
One of these suckers is $10 if you go to a nice restaurant.
Oh,
I have 7 of them. I have $70 worth of dead cephalopod.
Basically,
in my house
basically what he's saying is, get over here as soon as you can.
No,
and bring $50 a person.
Oh, yes.
Yes. All right. So, how are we doing on it? Are they soft enough to cut?
Yep, soft enough to work with.
Okay.
They're malleable.
Malleable. All right, Akbar.
Which is easier? Okay, this one. Bigger ones are easier to work with, so I'm going to give this one to you.
Okay, sounds good.
Do you have a way to prop that, or you just want to watch me first?
We're going to take a look at yours first, and then we'll do a before. We'll get a nice before of this. And then
that's your before.
Yeah, that's my before, and then this is Dan's before.
Okay, my before is missing one of his tentacles. Oh yeah, look at these suckers close up.
Yeah, there's little.
These are their little
suckers.
Suction cups. And believe it or not, there's actually bone in here. They're actually less suction cups, more of a bunch of teeth that are just sort of like grabbing.
Are they?
Like this.
Are they like the main beak except smaller?
No, very, very different from the beak. In fact, I shall pull that out in a second. But anyway, here's the first thing you should do. Is there's a piece of cartilage running along the top of the, I forget my name of anatomy, but this thing here,
not
the big body part.
Not a vertebrae, but...
No, it's more like a face plate kind of deal.
Okay. Is it kind of like your solar plexus? Or like a chest type thing?
Kind of like a sternum, yeah.
Like a sternum.
I suppose it's comparable
The fish
to that.
sternum.
So, and that, it actually, and by the way, it actually looks like plastic.
Whoa!
And that's cartilage. Can't eat it.
And it comes out in one
Yep,
pull.
it should. Otherwise, it'll sometimes be broken. That's also a good way to tell how fresh it is.
I see. Because if it was old, it'd be brittle.
Yep. And then you got a huge piece of skin here holding the head and the rest of the body and organs in. You want to remove that so you can get all those naughty, disgusting organs out. And then you just very gently pull. And most of it comes out.
It's almost as though they're made to be processed.
Eaten.
Yes.
And like I said, with the squid ink, it's a defense mechanism for them,
the ink
but
located?
it just makes them taste. There is a sack somewhere in here, I believe. Oh, there's a piece of fish right there. You can tell that he was eating part of a fish. One of these sacks, I believe this is the sack right here.
That little dark spot?
Yeah. Like this may be where the ink is formed. That's what it looks like to me. Oh, that's weird. Usually this piece doesn't. That's a lot of meat. Okay.
So that's good.
Yep.
That's
Stuff that's like hard and solid, like that actually feels like flesh. Yeah, that's totally good. You can totally cook that up. Yum yum.
Okay.
So these are the eyes. You don't need to eat those. No, you don't need to eat those. No. All right. Now we have
Poppy wants to eat those.
Yeah, we have our little mouth here.
Okay.
And what some people don't know is these suckers actually have a beak, and it looks very much
like a bird's beak.
Like a bird's beak.
Yeah. It looks like if you would show that to somebody by itself, they'd be like, that's a very weird looking parrot.
Yep. And now, because the tentacles are obviously edible, just below the eyes, you want to make your cut.
Okay.
And now you have a headless
That's pretty much the first major cut you've made too, right? Like
and
most of everything else kind of just separates.
You can just do it by hand, and this is the only part, pretty much the only part at this point you don't eat besides this.
Right.
So,
could you eat it, or would it? It would be just not pleasant.
Technically, if it's organic, you can eat it. That's sort of how the human body works.
Right.
I mean, this guy eats a tiny fish whole, as you can see.
Well, there's nothing of value there.
Right. Well, I mean, no, there's plenty of value. It just wouldn't be pleasant, as you said, because humans are very picky fucking eaters. So, okay, now, I could fry this by itself, completely practical, but that's going to be a pain in the ass, so I'm just going to do one more little lop, separating the tentacles from this pleasant little ring here. So basically we have the shoulders and the arms and legs right here. And we are going to put this over here for now.
So that is all the tasties.
Yep. And now here you can see there's a little bit of organs remaining. Some of it's quite literally just
it's kind of like a almost like a polyp type
bile
thing.
Yeah. Yep. It's just bile along the inside. Honestly, by the time you cook that, it's not even a problem. So,
should you wash it out, or should that be removed?
Well, I mean, we're going to remove that as we go. Most places, I'm going to remove the skin just to show you, but you don't have to remove the skin. It's not absolutely necessary.
Right. I think if you're doing like calamari for real, you don't bother removing the skin.
Yeah, it has more to do with presentation, but you notice it comes off just like
very
that.
easy.
Yep, comes off very easily. But, you know, like the skin on most animals, when you eat it, you can just eat the skin. It's actually not a problem. You know, unless it's a porcupine. You might not want to do that, though. Excuse me. You could probably eat porcupine skin, just not the quills.
Yes.
You know, unless you were going to pick your teeth. As long as you didn't jab.
You'd save a lot on toothpicks.
Yeah.
The porcupine.
But anyways, that is your perfectly good meat. If you notice that there's like a heavy sort of browning or like a heavy dark gray area, then you're dealing with some rotten flesh and you don't want to eat that. Okay. But if it's
the little wings,
kind of bright and white like
the
this,
little head wings, are those going to be removed? They're kind of probably more like
it's the same tissue, all the same tissue. I mean, it's no different than like the meat you have on your arms and the meat on your torso at this point. And
then you chop them into little. This is where you ring them.
Yep.
So this is
where they already comes in rings. Yep. And the thinner you make them, the easier it is.
And less time, I would assume, to cook them.
Yes. And also the more thorough, because then you don't have to worry about them not being completely turned over while they're cooking.
Right.
And you just take a very sharp knife.
Very important not to undercook fish ever.
Yeah. Well, it's mostly actually here's a common misconception very quickly about sushi. Now, again, I am not a sushi chef. I have not spent 10 years learning the trade. But one important thing that I do know is if you freeze, that is, if you know the fish has been frozen once, completely frozen, that will kill the parasites and other various things.
That is true, because they literally can't live. But we're talking about bacteria and stuff. Yeah. That can definitely be a thing. And are you removing that like bile section you found before?
Yep, there's some in here too. But
what would be the consequence of leaving that? It wouldn't matter that much?
You wouldn't even notice.
Okay.
You wouldn't notice. It would, like, because when this is all fried, it all gets shriveled up anyway. And besides the fact that the oil, because you cook it on high heat for a very short time, and that is going to kill absolutely anything in here.
Oh, that's a good question. How long does it take to cook? Like, you're going to do
If it's too short, it's going to be kind of gummy, like this. And
is it supposed to get crispy? Like almost
no,
like
that's when you get like breading.
Okay.
Crispy in the sense of like the outside of an onion ring, not really crispy. Like the kind of soft on the inside. It should almost have a rubbery texture.
Okay, so like the inside of an onion ring.
Yeah, but if it's too rubbery, then you've cooked it for too long.
I see.
And
all right, unless we got a little pile of meat, so
I'm just gonna shove it all over here into our little tray. Boop. And we're going to have more for you in a second.
We're going to see if I can make... So this looks fairly good. Like, let me get out of the shadow here. Get out of the light here. This looks like someone who knows what they're doing did it. And we'll see if I don't... And this guy's been sitting here for a while. I probably should have started on him. We'll see if I can even get even close to that. Back in a bit.